What's up, YouTube? Have y'all not seen how demonic women are? Yeah, they're becoming even more demonic. Imagine that. I wonder what they're going to do when there are no good guys left, even the ones that they've demonized and attacked, that would still possibly help them. Because what they're doing is filling their delusional heads up with all this bullshit because they're getting away with it. So all it's doing is furthering that delusional thinking. Once they went around and did their Me Too movement on every man they can find, they're going to be in the middle of being targeted by the overlords, the ones that are waiting for that to happen. You know, the ones that already do this to women, already manipulate them with money and finer things. Yeah. And once again, these women think it's their time to shine. Nope. And this is why you're not leaders, because you don't know what you're doing. Men, you have all forgotten that women were the reason evil entered the world. It has not left them. They have never been cleared of that. And this is why we all live in sin, because of them. Yep, the same shit we do today for them. We know they're demonic. We know they're a pain in the ass. And there's males out there that will still give them their way and make it to where they never get in trouble for the shit that they should. What does that do? Oh, gee, that creates a spoiled, self entitled adult female. Y'all wondering why the devil picked the woman? This is why. One, she is the one that carries the seed. Two, she is the one that is able to be corrupted through mood and attitude. That's why. And look, we get blamed for all the perverted shit that they spread around the world. We get blamed for being a monster, this, that, and the other, when 90 women are 93% more likely to abuse, sexually abuse, and to corrupt. Yes. Well, just like human papillomavirus, that's where it comes from. Women. Well, the Bible says that these women would be filled with diseases and lure you into beds where you end up sick and all this other stuff. And y'all don't listen. And that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, I knew the Bible at a young age. Yep, I even tried to have relationships with these crazy women because I thought totally different. And yeah, that was because I was raised by a feminist mother. And yeah, that's where part of my downfall was. I was always pushed to do whatever the hell a woman wanted, no matter what. I wasn't supposed to ask questions. They were always supposedly right. And I would laugh and, you know, deny that. There ain't no way. I've seen women be wrong so many times, they're not always right. But when I was younger, you know, I was still feeling all this out. I didn't know. And of course, my main, main gender of elders around me were women. So yeah, I'm being fed all this stuff and I'm putting it into play like I'm being told, and it is blowing up left and right because of females. Do you ever think that these women would be like, you know what? Maybe these women are nuts? Nope. I told them what these women were doing. They're telling me I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm, taking it wrong. Maybe no, I'm not. And here we sit, women taking over a world with, they can't even manage their own life. They think they deserve pats on the back for being an independent adult, which is what they're supposed to be anyway. They try to make things more glorified, even though that's the natural way it should be done, which shows you a lot about society. Y'all have gotten so far away from what you should be doing that now when somebody acts like a human, everybody thinks that they're a superhero. But no, that's normal human. Yeah, when I was growing up, being moral and, tough and not letting evil stuff like this slide meant that you were a normal human being. Yeah, they called it being human, not a monster. Now, huh, just like I've watched women go to bars, play all sweet and innocent, and pick the worst male in the bar and act like he's the best. And I'm like, dude, you have seen this motherfucker in here. You see what he does, and that's the one you choose? Right, because you know you can get other shit out of him. You see he's already screwing up, so you know you can use those screw ups to your advantage. So this is why you walk over there and act like he's the greatest, because you're love bombing to move into your little plan that your mind thought of. And yes, they do that. Yes, when you enter a place, trust me, these women have already targeted you. Whether they say it or not, they have. And they try and act like, oh, well, we don't do that. We just go out to have fun. No, you don't. Every woman, before a girl's night out, you hear them. I need to go out and find me a man. I need to go out and find me a man. What they really mean is, I need to go out and find me a new victim. Yeah, they run around in a world where all they got to do is cry and throw a fit, and people believe them. So, why not? It's called putting yourself in their shoes, and of course, they try to give you these drama filled stories. You don't know what it's like to be a woman. Well, it's life, and we all go through it. A lot of the extra stuff that women go through, they put on themselves. They just don't want to admit it. Yeah, you put yourself in situations doing things that you know you shouldn't be doing, and then when something bad happens, it's somebody else's fault. The accountability we talk about that you all are so afraid of, there it is. We've seen it on the island when it was women versus men. We've seen it everywhere. And these dumbasses are still like, nope, women don't do that. It's on video, you dumbass. The whatever podcast catches you all the time. Then you all get mad and go rogue instead of just admitting that you were wrong, even though you're never going to change it. And yeah, we're in this fucking stupid woman and man fight because of women letting people play with their heads. And how does it feel? You do it to men all the fucking time. I think it's funny. They all bitched us out, said they didn't need us, that we could die, and all this other shit. Said that women are just as strong as men, and they should be allowed to play sports with men, and they should have, professional level payment, and all this other shit. And come to find out, nobody supports them, not even their own gender, right? Because their own gender cares about keeping the money to themselves. They ain't gonna exploit it to you. Some will, and that's only to push numbers. That ain't for you. That's for them. They're a woman. So, yeah, they're going to play the part and try and stack the numbers, of course. Women are the number one gender that will fake it until they make it the wrong way. There are plenty of men that will go into a trade that they don't know. They will fake it and they will pull it off because they're doing it right. They're not there passing everything off on other people, trying to act like they're, just so innocent. And that's what women do. Yes, they do. A lot of them go on to jobs and act like they're the professionals, and everybody else on the job site is doing their job, not them. I've seen women when they first tried to get into blue collar, they tried to take foreman position or manager position right away, so they could be pretty much the boss right away. That's not how it works. You can't be the boss, the manager, or the foreman when you don't know how shit works. And what has happened? You got perverted F boys that want to look at something fucking disgusting. So this bitch that walks in looking like a streetwalker will get what she wants, all because the perversions of an immature male. Yeah, not because she's qualified, not because she's going to do a great job, because he thinks she's attractive. And she deliberately set it up like that. Oh, yeah, they do. That's why when they try that and it doesn't work, they get all pissed off and trying to say that the company's, misogynist or this and that. When they say, yeah, we'll give you a job, but you can't dress like that. Yeah. Some women will improv and be like, okay, and then slowly but surely go right back to what they were told they weren't allowed to do. Is what I mean. Where's the problem? Women. They have literally showed you that they were the problem since day one, and you all ignore it. Why? Because you're perverted. You think all that is more important than actually keeping the morale of life the way it should be. Who lowers morale? Women. Well, that means you're a misogynist. No, it's not. Speaking of the reality of what somebody does doesn't make you a misogynist. Right. Just like if it's fact, it's not racist. Just like if it's fact, it's not misogyny. And these women will try to use that as a umbrella statement. No, it means certain things being done shows that that's what it is. They will see something that is close to that and not analyze it correctly. Gee, just like the wage gap. Men get paid more just because they're men in the patriarchy. This is bullcrap. We did the math. We found out this is what, and they didn't do it correctly. They did it the way they wanted to so it would prove their point, which shows you how tricky they are. Nobody pays attention to that. We just take it, all these women just don't know math. Bullshit. They don't know math, but they know how to rob you. Right. They know math. They're playing stupid. They don't put enough effort into what they're doing. Not only that, when they do put a lot of effort in it, most of the time it is a fucked up situation that they're getting away with. And then they try to use the effort thing. Oh, I did. You're just mad because I pulled it off. No, I'm not mad that you pulled it off. I'm mad because of the way you pulled it off, and you're not supposed to do it that way. And why is it that when a woman does that in a workplace and does it completely wrong, you have other people that would normally normally fire somebody for that? That, oh, it's all right. This bitch has been here for 2 years doing this every day. This is why you're losing money here. This is why this is wrong. This is why this is wrong. And you're going to say it's okay? No, it's not okay. Yeah, I've been in that position. Had a female manager, which should not have been a manager. Had female coworkers that were lazy, stupid, and did not do their fucking job. Did they get fired for that? No. They we would have a fucking line and they'd be in the back huddled in a group just sitting there bullshitting. Mind you, there's only two men hired and we're the ones doing all the work. Why these bitches stand back there and just run their fucking mouth. We move the whole line out, then they come up. What? Oh, but you guys are superior. You women are just the best, even though you're not fucking doing your job. You're standing back there fucking making us do all the work and you're getting paid the most for it. What the fuck is this? Yeah, it's that fucking wage gap, the laziness. So now they're finding a way to get paid and still be lazy. Yeah, you can outwork all of them. You could outwork the whole fucking crew of women and you will be the one in trouble. Oh yeah, all because you just kept working and you made them look bad. Now all of a sudden it's their turn to get pissed off and flip script. And they do. How they're able to do that, I don't fucking know. If that was a man fucking back there in a huddle, while all these women are up here working, they'd be fired. On the spot, fired. But no, if you're a female, you can sit back there and bullshit. You can fuck shit up. You can waste time. You can not know how to fucking fix shit. You can fucking do whatever the fuck you want. I don't know where this demon came in that makes people believe that this is how life is supposed to be. It is the exact opposite. And this is why life is burning down around your fucking ears. This is not the way it's supposed to be. And this is why everything is torn up. And what? And as soon as you fucking start showing that, you have some woman marching in all on her high horse, and people just give her away. Why? Because they don't want to deal with the bullshit. Not because she's right, but because her fit throwing is going to piss them off. And they know it's coming. You see what I mean? They tell everybody else, you need to grow up, you need to do this, but you can act like a 5-year-old that doesn't get their way? And these are the bitches you're letting lead? Wow. No wonder the fucking world's burning. Yeah, and half these freaking groups that started, to make a statement, you guys are idiots. MGTOW, supposed to be men going their own way, right? Which I agreed with because of all this shit that these women were going. And I agreed with men going their own way. Not F boys being added into the group. Not fake ass alpha males that, oh, well, we're just going to run around and cause more trouble instead of just ignoring the women and working. That's men going their own way. Yeah. Without our families or our relationships, that's all we got. We don't even have our word anymore because y'all have allowed women to fuck that up because you won't stop fucking with them. Leave them alone. They act like it's kryptonite. Oh, I'm going to die. You're a fucking bitch. You're not going to die. And this is exactly why these women have this control on you, because you're fucking dumb. You have no self control, and you are a male, but you're not a man. That's an F boy. Life is not about going around and sleeping with people. Life is about way more than that. And this is what these fucking idiots have in their brain is the most important thing. Run around and fornicate. Really? No wonder they don't have TLC playing Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls anymore. What'd you think that meant? They were chasing after rivers? No, it meant stop going after all these strange fucking people that you don't know and sleeping with them. Well, you had 6 kids and 3 different moms. Yeah, that was me trying to be with one woman and start a family. And they were lying and doing other things. You know, the thing that women swear up and down that all men do. That's what they were doing. I was on my own at 15 and I was trying to find my family. And yes, I got wrapped up with demons that were able to act very sweet at first. They were sweet with animals. One of them loved going to church and loved being, a church going, at least it seemed like it. But nope, that wasn't true either. She was more wild than half the other ones out there. Yeah, shit. Bethany ran her mouth so much about me when you don't take care of your kid. You gave him to your mother and ran the roads, partied, did drugs. I didn't do none of that shit. I was the one trying to tell you to stop doing that. Remember, miss, I don't like you smoking cigarettes or weed and you need to stop. What did I do? I stopped. Yeah. Then she pulls this fucking whole charade, all because she was out doing shit she shouldn't have been doing. And of course, sexual allegations. Yeah, it pissed me and her dad off. We're ready to fuck all these people up. Took the fucking attention off of what she did, didn't it? Then we find out that your mother and your father put you up to doing that because they had money. So you all were playing these head games behind people's backs. But the person that you're playing the games on, is the bad one? No, they're only the bad one because they seen what you were doing. Yeah, you don't give a fuck about all the money that was put out for that attorney or all the bullshit we had to go through to try and get you some help. Then we find out that she's inviting this. She initiated all that. Which, yeah, it's still bad, but damn, what are you doing? You have a boyfriend that you're begging to have a family with? You don't even speak of fucking getting married first. What are you, afraid you're pregnant and trying to cover it up? What's going on there? Who the fuck would pull that? Yes, y'all, I'm still shocked to this day. It was over 20 some years ago, and I'm still baffled by the fact that a fucking female would do that. So, you want to go around and tell the community that I don't pay for Kyle or this or that when I do. You were the dumbass that would not get a DNA test. You were the dumbass that tried to tell me that he wasn't my son after I had already paid money for him, brought things to you, paid for holidays that I didn't agree with, just to keep you all happy. And what did you do? Played games every time. Did you? She never told people about the diapers, the milk, the wipes, the money, taking you out shopping. Yeah, never told anybody that shit, did you? So now I have some fucking young ass girl that is the sister of one of my friends getting in my face trying to tell me, oh, well, you don't even take care of your son. Well, there's a lot of shit going on there. And until I'm allowed to see my son and have a DNA test, I'm not going to sit here and put out all this freaking money for this child when the mother is not doing shit but running around freaking pissing away her whole life. Okay? She was nothing like that when me and her were together. So, your brother, my brother, and the other people that started fucking with her behind my back is the problem. My brother did what? Yeah, your brother did. Which gets me and him into an argument, of course. And it's all because this girl supposedly was dating him, seen me in Rising Sun, started following me around, told me that she wanted to, go on a mudding trip with me and my friends. Yeah, I didn't approach her. I didn't even care that she was there because of the shit she did when we dated when we were younger. Yes, we were kids, but she still did a lot of crazy shit. And I don't care if we're 13 and just kitty dating. You're not going to sit there and make dates with my brother behind my back, go sleep with him, and then fucking try to still date me. What the fuck? No. Yeah, this is what happens when you trust people not to do shit. Yeah, I was told that her and her dad were coming up to pick my brother up to go to an art museum because my brother was a artist. He drew and all that stuff. And I was like, okay. I figured they'd, want me to go. No, they didn't want me to go. But I'm her boyfriend. Right. We go everywhere together, but not here. No, I didn't say anything about it. I was like, all right, cool. Have fun. Come to find out, they never went to a museum. They went back to Jerry's apartment, and she told me that her and Willie slept together in her room. I said, wait a minute. You were 12 years old. I was 13. What the fuck are you talking about? Your dad picked up an older man, which was my brother, takes you back to his house and allows you to have that in his apartment. None of this sounds right at all. Yeah, I broke up with her. Of course I did. She tried to tell me she didn't feel things were working out because we didn't hold hands or kiss. And I had to remind her again, yeah, we've held hands plenty of times. Carrying you down the beach on my back, holding your hand while we played in the water. What are you talking about? Well, we don't make out. We don't do. That's because we're young. That's all that matters to you? We don't need to do all that. We were having a great fucking time. It was a great relationship without all this other shit in it. I had to keep reminding her that you're a child. We're young. We don't need to do all that. There's no sense in it. That's what I mean. Everything's going great, and these women just start doing crazy shit. This is why you can't listen to what they want. You can't sit there and try and make them happy because once you try to do that, you are in a trap and you will never get out of it unless you walk away. And if you walk away, you are not getting out of that trap. You They will fuck your life up because you walked away. Yeah, I was delivering a birthday gift to Kyle. It was a car that he could put all his tools in the trunk of it. He could ride in it, and he could take it all apart. He could take tires off. You can take the, fake engine out, and it had all kinds of tools and stuff. It was pretty cool. And that wasn't the only thing I brought him, but that was one. Some clothes, some other stuff, and she had me meet her at the park to give it to her. So I did, and she starts telling me, and mind you, we're way older now. She's 18, and I'm around. Or no, she was 17, and I'm around 18. So about a year. Well, no, two or 3 years after Kyle was born. So I had to be 20. She had to be 19. But anyway, I told her I had the gift. She said I that she'd meet me at the park so I could give it to her. And I go down to do that, and she's all upset. I don't know if she really is or not. I just know this is how she's acting. And tells me that my brother and Josh, which is his friend, wants her to go to this party and she doesn't want to go because she knows what they're going to do. And I said, why do you even hang around them? I said, you traded me for these fucked up men and you act like, you're so attached to them even though they're doing fucked up shit. I don't get it. That is completely ass backwards. And she asked me if I would come up there and keep her company so she wouldn't want to go to that party. And I said, sure, even though we're not together. Okay. I'm just trying to keep her from doing something stupid. So I drive up there I'm talking to her on the phone. She tells me what to do, you know, and I do it. And I go up to knock on her bedroom window like she told me to do. And when I look through there to knock on it, she's making out with her stepdad. Her two stepbrothers are in the room. Well, one stepbrother was. The other one came in like a few minutes afterwards. Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, did you fucking call me up here just so I would see this shit? Because I wanted to go through that window. But I didn't. After what I seen, I was fucking pissed. Go back to my car, my battery's dead. So I had to walk all the way home. Yeah. Oh, you were trying to do this or that. No, I wasn't. This is what happens when you try to help an ex girlfriend out even after she's been a complete piece of shit. They just suck you right back into what they're doing. They don't change. They just suck you into what they're doing. And next thing you know, everybody's looking at you like you did something wrong. And it gets the attention off of what they did. Yeah, a lot of times they'll just let people assume. And people will ask them questions and, you know, offer things through their questioning. And they'll improv off that and be like, yeah, that's it. Uh-huh. And it ain't nowhere near it. It's all because you caught them doing something they shouldn't have been doing. Yeah, when that happens, man, it's time to go way rogue. And they do. Now, if any of you all would pay attention to that story, all the chaos and bullshit and demonic things were being done by this female. All these men she has around them, half of them don't know what's going on at all. And she knows that all of them are going to fight. And that's what they do. They try and get you all fighting and they kind of step out of the way. And then whoever they're wanting to be in trouble at that moment in time, they call the cops on them. When the cops show up, it looks legit. Looks like two men are fighting over a girl. Well, stereotype fucking engaged. You men need to grow up. No, these women need to stop putting us in situations where they know we're going to fight. Yeah, I was paying $140 a week. Okay. Now, if you do the math, that's 560 a month. Okay. Under their rules, well, her mother's rules, I could only see my son for 5 minutes. If I wasn't out of the house exactly at 5 minutes, there was a cop waiting for me. Mind you, we didn't fight, we didn't argue. There was no problem at all other than them trying to play games. And that started when I started asking for receipts for the money that I was spending. No, the calling the cops part and trying to act like something went down that it didn't. And I would try to tell the cops, I'm like, look, do you see how calm and cool they are? Do you see that they're not pressing any charges? They just want me arrested and removed. And he told me, shut up. Then the 16th or 17th time of him arresting me up there for seeing my son, he asked me, he said, what the hell's going on? I said, I tried to tell you. You told me to shut up. He said, all bullshits aside, no joking, what's going on? I said, all bullshit aside, no joking going on. Exactly what I told you the first time is what is going on. He said, so they're just calling you up there to get money out of you. They only let you see your son for 5 minutes and then they call us. I said, yes, no matter what. I said, you know me in this town. If I was fighting with them, they'd all be hurt. I'm not fighting them. None of them have any marks. None of them are even pissed off. Well, her mother always talks like that. She's from Arkansas and she's always been a psycho like that. That's just how she talks. And she does. She acts all weird and like sporadic when she's talking. Probably because she's tormenting her own soul by the bullshit she's doing. Oh, and this is a woman that tries to use God for everything. Told Bethany that if God didn't want the stuff to happen in between her and her stepdad and stepbrothers, it wouldn't have happened. That's not the way that works. You got some of that right, but the other parts you do not. We have free will, yes, but we are responsible for the evil things we do. And no, God didn't say, oh, well, that's okay, I'll allow it because it's okay. The only reason why that stuff is done is because, just like court, until you do something, you're not in trouble for it. That's why He gave us free will and stuck us on this creation that gives us everything we need. Everything's already there. We're the ones that don't use our brains correctly and corrupt it. Yes, they twist it to what they want it to mean instead of what it tells you. Well, that means this. No, it means what it says. Well, how's that? Well, that's part of the Bible. You have to figure that out. You were told. Maybe that's why they do Bible study before they act on something. That way they can fully understand what the scripture is telling them before they do something. Duh. They don't just read one scripture and be like, yep, this is what it means. No, because that's not how the Bible works. And yes, I'm not going to tell you exactly how it works because unless you are a person of God, you don't need to know. And I tell you one thing, if you are a person of God, you already know how it works. It reads you, and you know that. That's why you can be going through a lot, and when you crack that Bible, shortly after you start reading, it shows you that all the scriptures you happen to come to are pointing out things to you about what you just went through. You didn't even look it up. You just flipped it open. And it's telling you, like it already knows. Imagine that. The people in my life that have heard me talk about this, and the ones that were in my life and around when this was going down, you know exactly what I'm saying. I don't know. My brother, whether it was jealousy, competition, I don't know. But for some reason, I was in a competition for dating that I never even knew about. Now, trust me, in the past, when we were in high school, he was dating a girl that was around my age, went to my school. And she was trying to talk to me. All because one day that she called the house, I answered the phone. And she tries to tell me that I sound cuter and that she wants to talk to me. And I said, nope. Then she tracks me down in school and tries to spin me around in the hallway and introduce herself. I said, that's great. Have a good day. And she got an attitude with me because I didn't want anything to do with her. Oh, yeah, she started all kinds of shit over that. Well, I told you on the phone, you date my brother. I don't want anything to do with you. And that set her off, dude. Apparently, she wanted something and she didn't care what I said. Well, guess what, Aaron? You didn't get it. Right? When it came down to stuff like that, I did what I was supposed to do. He did not. He would go out and purposely try to mess with them behind my back. Well, that's just your brother letting you know if they're worth it. No, it's not, and shut the fuck up. Yeah, all that was another part of the reason why I left when I was 15. Now, I've been back off and on, but I was gone up until I was almost 17, just before 9/11 hit. And I was here for about a month and a half. And then I went to work for American Home Interiors and got my apartment on Mackle Street in Elkton. Then ran into the other nightmare, Jen. Yeah, that was because of one of my friend Chris, named Chris, and I think he was just trying to help, you know. But uh, this is why I told you I didn't want to date nobody, buddy. And I told you not to be giving my number to anybody. You didn't listen, shithead. Yeah, Chris was a good dude. He was just trying to, be a friend and thought that I was just, pissed off because of my last relationship. And he thought I needed to get out of a funk. Yeah, well, not that way. So this girl was bugging for my number and he gave it to her. And he made the mistake of telling her I worked at the interior store, which was right down the hill from where she would go every day. And then she started showing up there. Yeah, I didn't even know who this chick was. She was just standing outside my work. And I even ignored her when I first seen her standing there and went into the gate, parked my car, went inside. And then I have everybody in the building telling me, oh, that girl's out there waiting for you. I said, who the fuck? What? Oh, yeah, she came down here to see you. Why would she come down here to see me? And, oh, all the dudes in there making fun of me. Oh, you know why she come down here to see you. She wants you to date her. And I said, yeah, I don't know about that. And they kept telling me, well, you at least need to go out and talk to her. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. That's rude. She came down to see you and you're not going to talk to her? And I'm looking at these dudes like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't want to talk to this girl. That's when a couple of them started saying, yep, he's gay. He doesn't like women. No, I'm very leery of women. I even told him, y'all just don't understand. So, of course, after a whole bunch of badgering, my dumbass pulls out in the work van. Dave stops. I roll my eyes. I got out and spoke to her. That's when the cigarette thing came up. That's when, you know, I agreed to take her on a date. A date. We weren't dating yet. And then all that shit at Kmart and at the pool party that I took her to, all that shit went down. And I'm like, yo, no. I was even going to be a bass player at her church because she said that they needed one. And I played bass. So, but I ended up going to my grandmother's church because she needed me to be a bass player because their bass player didn't show up. So I told her I couldn't do it. Um, but this was after all that stuff. And she was trying to lie and say she was pregnant and trying to slowly charm me back into, you know, going back into dating her. I even told her, I said, this feels like baby trapping. Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, right. And of course, I was young, didn't know her well enough. Of course, I should have paid attention to the signs. But this is how my stupidity of giving them benefit of the doubt. So that's my fault. I gave them benefit of the doubt, which taught me to never give them benefit of the doubt, or at least ones that act like that. Then I go to a buddy's house, getting away from the craziness at my house and, you know, running my business, helping people out. It's what I do. I mainly do floors and handyman services, but there's other stuff that I am very good at. And if people needed help with it and I could do it, I would go do it. And I was really good at automotives and bodywork because of me building my first truck and my first car. So I would use those skills to help other people out. So I would make a little bit of money and they wouldn't lose their shirt on having to, go to a shop or this or that. But my buddy had a sister and I don't know what the fuck her problem was, but she wouldn't leave me alone. And she wasn't like sitting on my lap and, stuff like that, but she kept trying to do crazy things to try and get my attention, even though she was told no. Then she tried to get her and her two friends to, you know, because her two friends were also talking about how they were going to, you know, date me or get me to do things with them. And literally, they're sitting in a circle, well, kind of like a circle, on my buddy's floor in his living room, while me and him are still going over this freaking car that he has. Awesome, awesome remote control car that runs on, fuel. It's gas powered, but it's remote. It's so cool. Um, and I hear what they're talking about, and they're talking about they're betting each other on who is going to get to sleep with me that night. Yeah, this is what these women are sitting here discussing. And I heard it, and I looked at her brother, Tony, and he just shook his head. And I said, dude, do you realize what they're doing? He said, yeah. He says, they don't realize what they're doing because you ain't going to go for that. I said, you know it. I said, first of all, I have a girlfriend. Second of all, even if I didn't, that kind of shit, no. And he said, well, I guess they need to be taught a lesson. I said, yeah, I guess they do. And I walked out there and I said, I hear you, y'all out here betting on me. I'm not a bet. I said, and another thing, y'all lose because I don't just sleep around with anybody. So I don't know what the fuck y'all are planning, but don't ever speak about me like that. And that's when Tiffany started saying stuff about my brother. I said, yeah, that's my brother. That's not me. And if that's the type of dude you want, go back to him. I don't like him. Well, you sure as hell keep going around him. So you're the one that brought it up. So is that why I don't have a chance? That's one reason. Another reason is I'm taken. Well, she's rude to you. She doesn't even like you. I said, I know. It's not the point now, is it? Yeah, because when Dale first pulled up there, Tiffany was in his truck. This is the first time Tiffany had seen me before she seen me at her brother's. And that's because Dale and his girlfriend was one of Tiff's friends. And she came with them. It pissed Jen off because automatically she thinks that these girls are there for me. They're not there for me. They're with him. I didn't even expect him to be bringing girls. Kind of expected his girlfriend to come because she's always, not always, but a lot. She's with him a lot. So I kind of figured Rachel was coming, but I did not know about the other one. All he said was, I need help with a dump truck. I said, all right, come get me. This is what showed up. And of course, Jen's out there running her mouth. You're going out to date these women. You're not going out to work on a truck. I said, I'm going out to work on a truck. Well, why are you working on it at night? Because it runs all day. The only time I have to work on it is why it's sitting at night. It needs to be ready to go at 4 o'clock in the morning. That doesn't make any sense. I said it makes a lot of sense if you know the business that they do, and that's how they run. So they don't have downtime. You do it when the truck is already down and the driver is at home for the evening. That way it can be fixed up and ready to run by the time he gets to work in the morning. You think I like going out here working on a truck all night when I could have done it in the morning and had it done and be home? No. But it's money, and this is the stipulation of the job. You're lying. Whatever. So I go to work on the truck. She ends up showing up to the job with our daughter, just coming into a dirty, chemical filled shop with our daughter, which I didn't want her in the shop. She's a newborn. She should not be in there. And she starts arguing. So just because you're in here working on a truck means that you weren't lying? Yes. That means I wasn't lying. when where did I ever lie about this or anything like that? That's not me. That's you. It's not me. I don't lie about shit like that. You do. Oh, she got mad as hell. Stormed off into the house with my buddy Dale, his girlfriend, and his dad. I go in there, and she's flirting with his dad with my daughter on her hip. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, we're just talking. You're talking to a grown man that is almost 3 times your age about sexual things that you prefer. What? Your daughter is right here in the middle of the fucking conversation. What are you talking about? That was her trying to start problems where I'm working. Because now that's going to cause a problem in between me and Ron, me and Dale, and I'm not going to get that much work. Yeah, that's what that was. So I was disgusted, and I walked down to where we're having a fire pit because we always had a fire pit on the farm. Smoked a cigarette, stared at the fire, just shaking my head to all this shit. And here she comes, bringing the little one down to a fire that has burning tires on it. And when I seen her coming, I walked up there and I'm like, yo, no, 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 no. She doesn't need to be around that. Oh, you don't tell me what I do with my child. It's our child, and you're not taking her around that fire. What does she do? She waits until I go back into the garage. Then she walks down there and starts talking to my stepbrother because now my stepbrother has showed up and he has his car down by the fire. I come out of the shop. Everybody tells me I need to go down to the fire because shit's going on. And I'm like, what? So I walk down to the fire. She's got our daughter in a car seat sitting on the trunk right next to the fucking fire that I just told her to get her away from. I said, see, this is why you can't come to jobs with me. This is why you need to stay the fuck away from me when I'm trying to work. Because this right here is all a fucked up situation that you are doing to get what you want. You are hurting that child. You are messing with my finances. This is why we have so many problems. What does she do? Starts crying. Well, you're being abusive. No, what you're doing right now is abusive. It is not abusive to tell you about yourself and that you need to stop. If that's the case, then every woman on this planet is abusive to their spouse because they do it all the time, whether he needs it or not. So don't fucking sit there and try and twist shit just because you don't like the fact that you're being told about yourself. So I get that truck completely done. Okay. Mind you, she does not care about this kid's schedule. She doesn't care about anything like that. Yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. This child has not been asleep. I'm the one who's changed her. I'm the one who's fed her. I'm at work and I'm still taking care of this child. All so this girl can just run around and be an asshole. That's all she did. Ran around, flirting with Dale, flirting with his dad, flirting with my stepbrother. I mean, flirting. I'm not talking about innocent, just talking about adult stuff. I'm talking about flirting. openly. Just like she was trying to do at the pool party. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this is what she's so upset about. She doesn't want people knowing the truth. This is why she tried to make it to where I couldn't speak. She tried to make it to where, the only part that was ever listened to was her. No shit. I don't know who this dude Michael is, but he must be a real simp. Because holy shit. I know for a fact this stuff has not stopped. I know it. Yeah, they got on there trying to say I was jealous because they're in a healthy relationship. Your dude wants to divorce you. You're over here trying to hit on my ex girlfriend just so you can have more leverage. What? I'm not supposed to talk about that? Oh, I will. See, it's the same shit she was doing back when I met her. Trying to play games and manipulate to get what she wanted. Yes, and when anybody would ever catch her, she would try and flip script. It was their fault, not hers. What? We didn't tell you to do that. We didn't do anything to make you want to do that. You just did it. And then tried to make excuses for it that don't fit the crime at all. Yes, I'm saying all this because one, truth needs to be out there. Two, there's a lot of men being taken to the cleaners by women like this, and they're getting away with it. There are a lot of children being destroyed by women like this, and they are getting away with it. Yeah. Well, congratulations, F boys and simps. You gave these women everything they wanted so they could destroy life as we know it. And you still back them and everything they do. This is why they get away with what they're doing. You know, just like y'all working for these satanic pedos. The reason why they're so rich and powerful is because of you, dummy. They've even made you to where you fight with your neighbor on how much you are a worker than they are. Okay, so you're gloating that you're a freaking slave for satanic people. Do you realize what you're doing? Well, you were just talking about working. Yeah, when I was younger. I knew our government was corrupt. I didn't know that we were working for satanic freaking pedophiles like that. I started to learn it after I started digging into a lot of things after 9/11. I started finding all kinds of things. And I'm over here like, we have a judicial system and all this is going on, and they're not doing anything about it. What the hell are they there for? We can handle this better than they can. Y'all got to understand this life that we've accepted with government overlords paying other people to build your houses, things like that, was the deception the Bible talked about. And I still 100% believe that money is the mark. Everybody's waiting for this chip, and you act like it's not already here. It's at a mark. That mark could be multiple things. But I tell you, they changed gold to paper money. Who did that? Rothschilds. Yes, when they tricked everybody into not carrying their gold and giving them an IOU that would be accepted at stores. That is where paper money started. Where was it received? Right hand. Now that it has went digital, you have a chip on your card and it is in your brain, as in the amount in your bank account. You store in your brain. You don't go through your wallet anymore like you used to. Now, all you got to do is check an app on a phone. So, therefore, it is in the brain. So, that's where the mark is received at, in the right hand or the forehead, which would be your memory gland. The frontal lobe has to do with memory and aggression. So, does the other things, they have a little bit to do with it. But the point is, money is the mark. You all accept it, you all use it, even though you live on a creation that does everything for you if you work it. As in, work the ground, as in, build the house, as in, imagine that. We used to live like that, and we gave it all up for government and this bullshit. And what does it tell you? There's a grand deception. They're going to come at you as an angel of light, offering peace and safety, and sudden destruction is going to come upon you. Look around. No, a lot of people don't believe that book because they know they're going to be shown the truth about what they're doing wrong. I don't know why that is. Pretty sure it started with females. But is what it is now, right? So why is the earth going to be destroyed? Oh, because we did not turn from these wicked ways. We accepted them. We sit here and we pray to God to fix them, even though we weren't supposed to accept this. And who's the one gender that mainly pushes you into it because they love material things? Women. Yeah, they're always the one wanting to spend money, get shiny and new things, and run around doing stuff that you don't need to be doing. Yeah. And a lot of us men will do a lot of things they want, even though we know it's damaging. And then we'll just fix the problem, and they'll run around thinking that, oh, la, 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 everything's fine. Because they don't have to deal with any of the hard stuff that they cause. They just hand it off to somebody else. Like, have you ever noticed the girls that try to say that their dad can do everything, but they do nothing but fight with their dad? Right. But when it comes to you, their dad is so much better, even though he's not. They're just causing a problem because they know if they keep saying that, it's going to piss you off. Oh, my dad knows how to do that better. Oh, my dad can do that better. Maybe I should call my dad. Well, maybe you should have called him instead of me. Better. There's only a right way and a wrong way to do this. So, what you gonna do? Backflips? And I love how you tell them, look, I need to focus on work. Leave me alone. And for some reason in their brain, they're, oh, that means bug him. No, that does not mean bug him. That means leave him alone and let him work. But they hear that means bug me all day and ruin my workday. Yeah, the people I worked for, man, we were production workers stopping to do a text message or a phone call, which caused a lot of downtime. Yeah, it cost us money and time. We'd get off a lot later because 50 to 60 freaking calls within freaking 8 to 10 hours. It's like, geez. Oh, yeah, but I'm such a monster, but they want my attention so damn bad. Right. That's the story of my life. I've always been misunderstood and always taken wrong and ended up in a fight until afterwards. Then they find out. Some of them would admit to it. Some of them would use it to start and try to start another fight. And I'm talking about dudes. There were so many times fucking people would get in my face over something that never happened. And I would tell them they had nothing to do with me. Yeah, right, you're just lying. Yeah, right, you're just lying. Well, it's not something I would lie about. It's not something I would do. So, no, I'm not lying. You're just pissed because somebody else is lying to you and you have nobody else to take it out on. Also, I'm the smallest one in the group. So, of course, you want to try me. I'm the wrong one. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Next thing you know, we're fighting. They didn't like the way that fight turned out. Turned out I was right. You think that they would take that as how we used to back in the day. You know, you want to fight over something because you think you're being disrespected. You get your ass whooped and then prove that you were wrong. You need to accept it and move along. Yeah, I have no fucking clue. I even have friends now that are with these types of women, and because they cheat on them and do all that, they don't want any friends around. And I can't say that I blame them. You just never know what the fuck they're going to do. All you're trying to do is do damage control because they won't leave you the fuck alone even after they do bad shit to you and you don't want to be with them. They will not leave you the fuck alone. You think you can get them in trouble for stalking? No, you can't. Back in those days, you call a cop about a woman stalking you, they make fun of you. They don't fuck out of here. And it's like, look, I'm supposed to do this. I ain't supposed to beat her up. I ain't supposed to, you know, do anything else but call a cop and tell them what's going on, and they laugh at that. What the fuck? This is your job. What are you doing? Yeah, one of their famous lines, oh, you're scared of this little girl. No, motherfucker, I'm not scared. I'm not scared of her. I'm scared of something happening and me getting in trouble for trying to get this fucking psycho away from me. Yeah, I'm afraid of that because that happens, seems to happen a lot. You motherfuckers always have this approach when you show up. Oh, it's a girl. We don't care. What? The fuck? Unless she's standing there acting psycho when they pull up, they don't give a shit. That's not your job, dude. This is what I mean by I normally would never call police on anybody because, especially stupid shit like that, but it does get serious pretty quickly when they don't get what they want. Gee, I wonder what that's from. Somebody in their life always giving them what the fuck they want. Well, didn't you do that when you first started? Yeah, we were new. We're being, sweet and nice. uh, she's not, to my perception at that moment, I don't see anything wrong. So why would I say no? Obviously, I'm going to say yes. It's called being a nice person. At some point, she's going to be told no, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I don't get it. They can go and put up bogus charges, bogus this, and just cry. And any type of, stuff that they need, they'll just give it to them. You have to fight tooth and nail to get it, but they do not. And the moment you enter a situation like that, they are automatically deemed innocent. They don't say it, but they act like it. They don't act like you're innocent. You're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. But these ones are innocent, and it's hard to prove them guilty, even though you have so much stuff that shows that they're guilty. The one comedian talking about how women are starting to get their comeuppance and well deserved and long awaited, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I mean, I like everything else about him, but when he says that, I don't know if he's being sarcastic or if he's just trying to be an F boy. But that is not true. They have always been seen and basically treated like they're on a pedestal by real men. Now, they have done things to start fights and physical altercations. They're not always at home cooking a casserole and the dude come home from a hard day of work and just want to beat her up because he's mad. No, y'all have watched way too many fucking TV shows and movies. And of course, they show that because then it starts to brainwash into people that, hey, we can use that. That's why you got women sitting around with their friends, bashing themselves in the face with hammers and shit like that, and then putting up reports of, wow, fucking insane. But hey, this is the life they said they wanted, right? And doesn't that happen with everything else they say they want? They want it no matter what, and then they find out after they get it that they can't do shit with it. Crazy, crazy. See ya.